Hello. Hi, welcome in. Yes, it's so nice to meet you. Of course. Well, thank you so much for being in this interview today. Oh no, definitely. Yeah, it's been a pretty busy season this past week, probably the last month actually, but no, we are just so thankful. We were looking for a marketing associate, so I'm so happy that you applied. I think we have a couple more interviews to kind of assess for the next few weeks, but we'll let you know. All right, of course. Yeah, well, feel free to grab a seat. Yeah, get yourself comfortable. Let me go ahead and get your resume out here just so I can review your resume while I am going to ask you a couple basic questions to start with. Yeah. Oh, and I'm so sorry, I didn't even introduce myself. My name is Miss Pearl, and I am the marketing director. I focus on a little bit of procurement, finance, and also social media marketing as well. So that's the reason why, if you were to be hired, you'd be directly working with me. Of course. All right, so let me go ahead and get your resume up. And I know you mentioned that you worked at another firm, is that right? Yeah, based on your resume, it looked like you were at this other firm for about 2 years. That's wonderful. All right, so we're going to start with some basic questions. Again, I just want to let you know this is going to be a relaxing environment. I do not want to stress you out. If there are any trick questions or you want me to explain a little further, you let me know. I want to make sure that we're on the same page. Yeah, and this interview will be for about 30 minutes, but I want to leave some time at the end, probably about 5-6 minutes for any questions you may have. If you want to learn a little bit more about our company as well. Yeah, and of course, we'll have another follow-up interview, most likely with our program director as well, for our second follow-up interview if we decide to choose to do so. Yeah, and if you have any questions or need any clarifications throughout this process, you let me know. Sounds great. All right, so real quick, can you tell me a little bit about yourself? You can describe a little bit about your background. You can also talk a little bit about your experience. And I just want to get to know you as a person. And if it's okay, I'm just going to type a little bit while you're talking. That's wonderful. That's great. Oh, and that actually follows up to my next, interest of why you were interested in this position. You said that you were in marketing for about 5 years up until your current position, right? So what really got you in here? I know it might be a little corny, but there's usually always a reason why people jump into a sort of career. Oh, really? I also have a sister that went to that school as well. Okay, wonderful. Okay. Yeah, and the company that you worked prior, you said that also worked with procurement. Is that correct? Okay, wonderful. And how much experience do you also have with specific softwares, like marketing softwares? And I know you listed them out on the interview, the resume as well, so. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. I know you walked me through a little bit more about your experience. I do want to ask you specifically on some softwares. So previously, with our marketing team, it was in-house. We had something very small where we just had, one of our training specialists working on the marketing. But we are looking for somebody who has a little bit more experience with social media content management. Somebody who also has a little bit more interest in contracts as well, and learning a little bit more about procurement and invoicing. Do you possibly have any experience with that? And if you do, can you tell me a little bit more about it? Okay. Okay. So you don't have direct experience, but you have something that's kind of aligned closer to that. Okay, wonderful. And I do want to let you know, we do have another marketing coordinator that will be working with you. We're just still at the moment of hiring somebody, but once we do hire that person, they will be working aside with you to kind of develop that marketing content strategy for the entire fiscal year. So it won't be just you, of course. Okay, so I talked a little bit more about your skill sets, and I want to kind of dive a little deeper on specific projects that you've worked on. Have you had any previous projects where either you took a very big part or either led the project? Because this is a mid-level position, we're looking for somebody who has a little bit more of those leadership skills, somebody who's actually been able to take something of their own. And I don't expect you to be, the lead of the marketing, but I do hope that, you have some experience with a little bit of managing and also kind of taking the initiative first. So if you do have any experience, can you tell me a little bit more about that? That's wonderful. Okay. Well, that's great. I know a lot of our folks are also really involved in something like invoicing, because we have a lot of vendors that we work with. It's great that you have some sort of finance background as well. Yeah, and you said that, you've worked with other vendor companies, so that's going to be helpful for when you, develop that relationship with other people as well. Yeah, we do have a lot of partnering projects as well. Although we are our own program, we do have multiple projects that are running. So, one season you may be involved in this one project, but then the next season you may be involved in something completely different, right? Just because we have such a big clientele and, we have so many vendors that we work with, we just want to make sure that, we could essentially hit them all. Let me see, and these are just kind of general questions, just so I can get a little feel of just kind of your collaboration and communication skills. So real quickly, have you worked with different teams? And right now we have a design team, we have a software engineering team, and we also have the training team as well. So I want to just get a little bit of your experience of working cross-functionally, and also, how has that worked for you? What's kind of your communication style? Oh, great. I see. So all of the teams that you were in before, you've always had some sort of specific team that you were assigned to. Okay. And I do just want to let you know, since we are working cross-functionally, we have daily stand-ups. They only last for 15 minutes every morning, but just a quick update from each team on what the news is and if there's any updates. The marketing and training team usually goes on Thursdays. So Thursdays will be, a quick 15-minute update for the team, and then you'll also work internally for about an hour in the mornings, every other day, depending on whoever your, lead is going to be, and then you'll all report to me. Yeah, for any deliverables, and we have a Kanban board to kind of track everything as well. Right. Yeah, so, all of that will follow under project management. And I wanted to ask you, especially with marketing, sometimes we do have a quick deadline. Do you have an experience prioritizing quick marketing deadlines? A lot of our deliverables are sometimes in just form of posters, PDF files, and sometimes they could be as long as making short clips. So have you any experience making those kind of in a short deadline? And when I say short deadline, I'll say something like the shortest deadline we've ever had was about a week and a half. Okay. Yes, in our program, we always make sure that we have very clear deliverables. So outlining those objectives and having some sort of actual plan of objectives is a very big thing, just so that we're all on the same page. Okay, that's wonderful. All right, and I've asked you a little bit about collaboration. And then the last thing is kind of more of an open-ended question is, what specific marketing trends do you think will be impactful in the next few years? I know there's a lot, and I kind of wanted to know your expertise on what you think makes you stand out from, based on what trends you've seen. What do you think you can master really well and what you can show to our team? Oh, that's great. Right. Well, that's wonderful. That's all good to hear. All right, so some closing questions. We've talked a little bit about collaboration. I do want to let you know this position is a remote position. So are you comfortable with working in a remote setting? Right, so although we have our interview in person, most of our work will be remote. Once in a while, we might ask you to come into the office, which will require you to stay 50 miles within our office location. Okay, yeah, so, as long as you're within the 50 miles, it would be great. Otherwise, we do also have a travel budget for anybody who lives out of state. We will essentially fly them in for any of our all hands or PI planning sessions. Yeah, and then we'll collaborate all together. And I also wanted to tell you a little bit more about our company benefits as well. And I know our HR representative is going to send you a package as well right after this interview. So one of our company efforts is just the kind of sustainability and also making sure that we're effectively working across teams. So although you will be in one of our projects, we do kind of within our entire company work cross-functionally, and sometimes you may have an opportunity to have a professional growth session in another partnering team, so that you can also kind of see what they are doing. Essentially, a good way to shadow what they're doing, and you can also offer your expertise. And we do that 3 times a year, usually, at least once a quarter, kind of skip the holiday seasons, but it's a great learning opportunity. We also have, again, as I told you, a travel budget. So you, let's say we have, a learning opportunity in Colorado and you don't live around there, we have a travel budget so you can fly out there and do a workshop. So a lot of great benefits so you can learn and really grow in your role. Yeah, so I think another thing I wanted to ask you is, what is your compensation that you are looking for in this role? Yeah, a specific range. Right now, we are targeting for about 80,000 to 100,000, depending on your level of experience. But since you are coming with a little bit more experience, we'll probably land you a little bit more in the upper 90 to 100,000, just so you're matched with that salary. Is that something you're looking for at the moment? Yeah, of course. And of course, once we forward everything, we can discuss a little bit more about compensation and any other benefits or bonuses. So all of those can be discussed with your HR representative. All right, so let's take a look. And I've done a lot of talking. Is there any questions that you have for me? And if there's any specific questions about the company, of course, you can forward that to the HR representative. If it has anything to do with the theme or your day-to-day work, please feel free. I'm going to send you an email address to just thank you for this interview. So you can always feel free to send me an email address with any questions you may have. Yeah, so for our PTO policy, so starting the next fiscal year, we are trying to implement unlimited PTO. Now, of course, there's some parameters with the unlimited PTO, but this just kind of allows our employees to feel a little bit more flexible, and also feel free to take the days off when you need it. And all of that will be sent to your HR package as well. Yeah, and yes, core hours, since we do work remotely, we do run in Eastern time. So that means that since, I know in case you may be located somewhere else, but a lot of times we just try to stay within Eastern time, anywhere between 9 to 3 p.m. Is our core working hours. But, you can work a little earlier or after, really depends on your schedule. And you can talk to your direct lead, which will be me, and then we can coordinate something. Yeah. And most of the time, I'm quite flexible. I really want to make sure that you're prioritizing, family and, your personal life. So I really, this is my philosophy. As long as you get the work done, I do not mind when the hours are, as long as you are present during those core hours. Of course, yeah. So let me go ahead and again, if you have any more questions, you can always feel free to send that over to me at any time. I'm going to go ahead and forward my notes to the HR representative. Next steps again will be meeting with our program director. It'll most likely be a panel interview, and the panel interview will be very short, just more of an introduction, since we have gone through the hard part. So, if you are interested, please let us know and feel free to reply back to our HR representative. It was great meeting you. Thank you so much for being here. Yeah, the weather has been warming up so much. I love it too. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon. All right, sounds great.